Hello and welcome back to another episode of In the Paint, brought to you by First Federal Savings of Lorain. I'm Rocco Nuosci. Kristen Bauer behind the camera as always. Glad to be a part of this week's show with you once again. Before we get started on a serious note, I did want to extend my thoughts and prayers, and our thoughts and prayers truly from WEOL and the Chronicle Telegram to the Amherst community. There was a medical emergency this past Saturday at North Ridgeville as the Amherst girls and North Ridgeville girls were getting set to play. The game ended up being canceled, and I don't have a ton of further details as far as that goes, but I did want to extend our thoughts and prayers to the Amherst community. Hope everybody involved recovers well with that incident. So without further ado, let's get into who's playing well right now in Lorain County, and as always, we will start on the boys' side. So the Elyria Catholic Panthers, we got to start there, right? They get back-to-back wins this past weekend. They get a Friday night win over North Olmsted, and then Saturday, big rivalry game against Illyria at their place. This was a big one for the Panthers, no doubt about it, and they march in and get a 53-36 road win. So shout out to the Panthers for that win. You look at guys like Jack Keneally, he continues to play really well. He's a shot blocker, he's a post threat, he does a little bit of everything for Coach Palmer's ball club. And how about Denny Fisher as well? Had a pair of 3 balls in the win, really helped space the floor for that Panthers team, and again, they get the win 53-36. And I got to give some love to their defense as well. They held Illyria to just 31% shooting in that ball game. That is tenacious defense, to say the least, from the Panthers. So Elyria Catholic, they are playing well right now. One of our teams to watch in Lorain County. Heading on over to the SWC, let's talk about the Avon Eagles. It hasn't been a whole lot to talk about this season with them, unfortunately. Hasn't quite been their year under second-year coach Mike Fitch, but this weekend they got a much-needed win over Avon Lake on the road, 71-60. That was their first conference win of the season, and it capped a really good week for them. They started that week with a win over Highland, and then again they get that first conference win over Avon Lake on Friday. So big performance for them. Max Emmerine and Tyson Ziegler each with a 21-point outing. So incredible stuff there for the Eagles. That was a, awesome high school environment on Friday night. I had the call on WEOL. You can listen at WEOL.com. Just really fantastic stuff as far as high school basketball goes, and a great environment. Shout out to both communities for coming out in big numbers for that one. And sticking in the SWC to round out who's hot on the boys' side of things right now, the Amherst Comets. I mean, we talk about them every week, and how can you not? Coach Bray's bunch, they just continue to roll. They're hot right now. Winners of 3 straight. That includes 2 conference wins over those Avon Eagles and North Ridgeville. So, the Comets just continue to play really good basketball. And George Gotsis, he had his career high in that win over the Rangers, 28 points for the young man. So a shout out to him for a career night. Let's head on over to the girls' side of the equation now, and we'll start in LaGrange with the Keystone Lady Wildcats, winners of 3 in a row, and they've been taking it 2 teams right now. Their last 2 wins have come on a combined win total of 88 points. So again, the Wildcats just running through opponents right now. You look at 3 girls in particular, Delaney Peters, Helena Houston, and Brooklyn Barber, a freshman. They all had double-digit scoring numbers in their latest win over Black River, and those 3 girls are really doing something special with this year's Wildcats team, and they're a good coached bunch under Rocky Houston. So I have my eyes on the Wildcats right now over there in Keystone playing some good basketball. Elsewhere in the Lorain County League, you look at the Firelands Lady Falcons under Coach Dave Kudella. They continue to roll, haven't lost since the last time we spoke. They've won 7 games in a row now. They remain unbeaten in conference play. Abby Schmitz is one of their star players. She is an absolute joy to watch. I had a chance to see one of their games earlier this season. She had 22 points in a win over Oberlin, 18 in the first half. So Abby continues to play really good basketball right now for the Lady Falcons. Elsewhere in the Lorain County League, how about the Wellington Lady Dukes? Haven't had a chance to talk about them much this season. They got a huge weekend win over Columbia. They win that one by 3 points. I believe 36-33 was the final score there. Senior Teddy Harderby, and freshman Brooke Lemcool are 2 names to keep an eye on with this Wellington bunch. Again, the Lady Dukes have had a bit of an up and down season, but within this past week or so, I think they've really found their stride. They're really playing some good basketball. And that was a game that I don't know many thought they would beat Columbia, but they get the home win this past weekend. So the Lady Dukes playing some good ball right now. And to round out who's hot on the girls' side right now, we'll go over to Avon, where the Lady Eagles have won 3 in a row. Abby Leiber, one of the best players in Lorain County. More on her in a second. She continues to be a name to watch. She had a 27-point outing, if I'm not mistaken, against Avon Avon Lake. So Abby continues to play really good ball, as do the rest of the Lady Eagles. So let's take a broader look from around Lorain County right now. We'll stick some Medina County news in here as well. I want to go right back to Avon with Abby Leiber. She scored her 1,000th career point this weekend in a win over Brunswick. So congrats to Abby right there. She's actually committed to play at St. Louis University next year, where she'll be a freshman there with the Billikens. So very excited to see where her collegiate career goes. But shout out to Abby scoring 1,000 points in a high school career. It's not easy, and she found a way to do that. Again, that coming in a win over Brunswick. And I didn't get a chance to mention this last week as far as Medina County goes, but I have to mention it now because this was just simply an incredible performance by Danny Flood of Buckeye High School. They had a win over Elyria Catholic in which Danny scored 56 points. Yeah, you heard that right. Danny Flood scoring 56 points. That broke both a school record for scoring and a Medina County record for scoring. So shout out to Danny. Just an absolutely incredible performance in that win over Elyria Catholic. He continues to have a fantastic season right now for Buckeye. Certainly, find a way to see some Bucks basketball to watch this kid play, man, because he is absolutely fantastic. So now that we've kind of taken a look from around Lorain County and Medina County for that matter, here's what's coming up this week on WEOL. Friday night, a heck of a boys matchup in the SWC. This should be a really exciting one. Myself and Kristen were talking before the show here. We're excited to see how this one plays out. Elyria and Olmsted Falls. That'll be at Elyria, 7 o'clock. Again, you can hear that one on WEOL. This will be interesting to see how this works out. Obviously, Elyria continuing to try and prove themselves in the SWC. I'm sure they're not thrilled about losing to Elyria Catholic, so this will be a big week for them to try and bounce back. And you look at Olmsted Falls, they had their way with Midview this past weekend in a game that many thought would be a little bit closer. Was it just a really hot night for Olmsted Falls? Was it just a bad night for Midview? Hard to necessarily tell, but I will say that that sets up an incredible matchup this Friday night again at Elyria as Olmsted Falls pays a visit to the Pioneers. You can get the results from that one and many more on our Nick Abraham Saturday Sports Wrap-Up Show. Myself and Marissa McNeese will have that for you this Saturday morning, 9 to 11 a.m. again on WEOL. We'll get the results from that Olmsted Falls and Elyria game, talk to the winning coaches from this week, and much, much more, so make sure you tune into that. And then stick around Saturday on WEOL. It's a little girls matinee action as Avon visits North Ridgeville. Should be a lot of fun there. Again, a 1:30 tip we're looking at there on WEOL. So there is what's happening in and around Lorain County as far as the basketball scene is concerned. Plenty of good games this week to keep track of. Make sure you stay tuned to WEOL and the Chronicle Telegram to keep up with the latest as far as Lorain County basketball goes. So again, that will do it for this week. This week's episode of In the Paint, brought to you by First Federal Savings of Lorain. We'll see you next time.